Hello and welcome to CC Imaging's Introduction to Adobe Photoshop. In this video we're going to be looking at how you create your own interface space. It's called a workspace in Adobe Photoshop. Now when you open Adobe Photoshop you will see all of these different palettes all over the screen. Just close that there. In this top corner we have different display options. These are the preset palette displays, and we can see we have lots and lots of different ones which all change the various palettes which are on display. Now the most important thing I think with Photoshop is to only show the tools that you're going to use. It's a bit like if you have a tool bag and you want to screw a screw into a hole. You don't take out all of your tools just to screw the screw in. You really just want to have a screwdriver. So we're going to go through setting up your own personal workspace. To create our own workspace, we need to go to the Window tab and decide which we do want to display. So as we see, when I tick these, they all start to appear on the right hand side and at the bottom. And I can turn these on or off by toggling with the tick. Depending on what really you want to achieve with Photoshop, you will choose which palettes you wish to display and which you don't wish to display. But for this exercise, I'll be using the ones which I find most useful. So for photo editing, I find History very useful, Layers, Adjustments and Actions. Let's have a look how we set up those. To begin creating our workspace, I have gone back to one of the predefined workspaces when you install Photoshop. So this is the Design tab, and it contains some palettes that I don't want to use, and it's missing some palettes that I want to use all the time. So the first thing to do really is to add the palettes that I want to use. I'm going to add the History palette. But we see it appears here, but I want to put it somewhere else. I'm going to click and drag and add it to this top section here. And we can see it snaps in there. Now swatches, I'm not really interested in using those all the time, so I'm going to drag them off one by one and close them. Info, I tend not to use that a great deal. So now we have our History palette here. Character and paragraph are to do with text, and they can be very useful, but I don't really want them here. What I want second is layers. So I'll put layers there, drag characters out, and drag paragraph out. So we have layer palettes here. Now I also want something called layer adjustments, which we will cover in another video, but for now I will add it here. So it's adjustments. Again, it pops up in this side. I'm going to drag it just to layers there. And finally, I want to have actions, which again we will cover. Good time-saving device. And there they are. Actions, we will drag that here. And we can also shift it to the side. So there we are. Now maybe I want to move History down there. There we are. And layers, adjustments, History. Shrink that. We can change the size of these here. There we go. So that's probably where I want to have my palettes for now. To save this setup so that it always starts like this, we want to create a new workspace, which is going to Window, Workspace, and we want to create a new workspace here. Tick these boxes, which means any keyboard shortcuts that we create or add to Photoshop will be saved as part of this particular workspace, together with where the menus are located. I call this my default, save, and as we can see it defaults to here. We will just close Photoshop now and then reopen it. And here we are, my default, all as we left it. That's how we create a new workspace in Adobe Photoshop.